The federal government is launching a nationwide app to ramp up contact tracing.
Led by the Canadian Digital Service and with the help of Shopify, BlackBerry, and the Government of Ontario, we've been working on a nationwide mobile app that will notify users if they've been exposed to COVID-19. We will soon begin testing this app in Ontario. There are already a number of other provinces, including BC, who are working with us on this, but it will be available to everyone in the coming weeks.
So the Prime Minister stressed the app is completely voluntary and the personal information will not be shared. He added the app's success will depend on how many people choose to use it. So for more on this, we're joined by Cavoukian, the former three-term Privacy Commissioner of Ontario. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you, Anthony.
What is your feeling with this app?
I'm delighted that our app here in Canada, and especially in Ontario, is being built on top of the Apple-Google framework. Apple and Google partnered together to develop an app that is totally privacy protective. And believe me, I always say trust but verify. I always look under the hood. Apple has briefed me on 2 separate occasions on all the amazing measures that are available in this. Total privacy, it's decentralized, no personal information is collected or retained. Your geolocation data, not collected or retained. It's totally privacy protective. And this is critical. You see, people can choose. It's all voluntary. You can choose to opt in to download the app and feel secure that this information isn't going anywhere. It's under your control. Privacy is all about personal control. You can control if you want to share it with anyone. And I should point out, Apple, Google are not calling this a contact tracing app because they don't want to trace you or track you or engage in surveillance. It's called an exposure notification app. So that means that it will notify you when you've been exposed to someone who has also self-reported as being COVID-19 positive. That way, you can choose to pursue care, go to your doctor, go to a public health authority, etc. It's a total win.
Now, it leads to a lot of questions, but this is a strong endorsement because you have been an advocate for people's privacy for many years. In terms of what is on there and the data, this is erased after 14 days, correct?
Absolutely. And also, it uses Bluetooth beacons, which change every 15 minutes. So it's not that someone could locate you because there's an identifier on the phone. No, it's constantly revolving. And any metadata arising from the Bluetooth are also encrypted using AES, which is very strongly protected. I should point out, Germany adopted the Apple-Google framework in their contact tracing app, which they released 3 days ago. And within 24 hours, they had 6.5 million people download it and start using it. It's just huge. And I think this just goes to show the level of trust that is needed. Germany stands by the Apple-Google framework, which is why they used it.
All right.
And the fact that our province here, Ontario, has adopted it, it's complete exposure notification, no tracing or tracking whatsoever.
Now, given that it's voluntary, how effective do you think this will be overall? Because this does depend on people actually downloading it and using it.
You're right, Anthony. And that's why trust is so important. That's one of the reasons Apple went to great lengths to brief me extensively to convince me that this is in fact a very privacy protective app. Usually I'm very critical of technology and apps and I warn people to stay away from it. In this particular instance, I'm hoping that people can trust the framework because I have examined it and it will not reveal any information. It is totally decentralized. It allows you to be in control of the information that you wish to share. If you do, and if you don't, that's fine. You can also get rid of it anytime. Everything is under your personal control, which is what privacy is all about.
Certainly a different story than what's happening in a lot of other countries like Norway, which is pulling back from its privacy app, which is, we have to clarify, it's different than this one, correct? Totally. It's not privacy protective at all. And I should also point out that a number of jurisdictions which started with a more invasive contact tracing app, Australia, the UK, they're changing to the Apple-Google framework. We're going to have to leave it there. Anne Cavoukian, the former 3-term Privacy Commissioner of Ontario, we really appreciate your insight and your time this morning.
My pleasure. Thank you.